Alright, so picking back up where we left off, looking at this problem number 3, basically we've taken and broken down 45 to where we have 9 and we have 5. And then we took 9 and broke it down into 3 and 3. So when we break down 9, we get 3 and 3 as a pair, and then we have 5 by itself. So we would write the 3 on the outside, the 5 on the inside. Now, a lot of people's having trouble when they look at these variables. So think of these variables, x to the 4th and then the square, as having, basically looking at it as a division problem. In this one, look at it as 4 divided by 2. So if we were to say 4 divided by 2, we know 4 divided by 2 would be what? 2. And then 2 times 2 would be 4, and we would have nothing left over, right? So what that tells me is that I can pull out exactly x squared, or 2 sets of x's. So that's why I say that this is x squared with nothing left over. Now looking at the y cubed, we want to do the same thing. So in that one, we're going to take 3, and we're going to divide 3 by 2. So how many times will 2 go into 3? 1 time. 1 times 2 is going to be 2. And then when we subtract that, 3 minus 2 is going to leave us 1 left over. So we end up with a remainder of 1. So what we would do here is, since this is a 1, we would say that's going to be y to the first power. And we could write a 1 up there if we wanted to. You don't have to. And then since it's 1 y left over, then on the inside, we would just leave a y to the first power. And that would be our answer. So when we look at this, we want to make sure that we're looking at the remainders and then dividing it out. All right, let's look at one more problem before we finish up today, and that's going to be number 4. So in number 4, we have the square root of 98, and then we have x to the 7th power, y to the 5th power. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can work this out on your own. All right, welcome back. So to work this problem out, what we're going to do is we're going to take 98 and we're going to break it down. Now, in this one with 98, I'm going to start by dividing it by 2 because it has an even number on the end here. So when I divide that by 2, 98 divided by 2 will give me what? 49. Now, I know 49 will break down into what? 7 and 7. So when I look at this, I have a 2 that's by itself, and then I have a pair of 7s. So what that means is I'm going to have a 7. I want to leave a little space here for my x and my y, and then I'm going to have on the inside with the radical a 2. So I'm going to have a 7 on the outside, and then since there was only 1, 2, that 1, 2 is going to go on the inside. Now I'm going to look at my variables. So here, once again, we have an index of 2. So what we want to do is we want to take the exponent and divide it by the index. So this is going to be 7 divided by 2. So how many times will 2 go into 7? 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. So that means we're going to have how many left over? 1. So what that means is we're going to write for x, we're going to write on the outside x cubed, and then since there was a remainder of 1, that means we're going to write 1x on the inside. So that's just going to be x to the first power. For the y to the 5th, we're going to do the same thing. The index was 2, and then the exponent was 5. So 2 would go into 5 how many times? 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So 5 minus 4 is going to give me a remainder of 1. So here I know that my x, or my y, is going to be to the 2nd power, since it divided by 2. And then I know that since I have a remainder of 1, I'm going to have a y to the 1st power on the inside. So when I finish this out, that's going to be my answer. Alright, so if you have any questions about this, feel free to email me or talk to me later in class. Go ahead and we'll begin working on these problems. And like I said, if you have questions, let me know.